Something's on the game.
Hello. Right. Firstly, can anybody who's actually watching this video actually hear me? If you put in the comment you can hear me, it'll help, because I don't know if anybody can hear what I'm saying, because I've never done a live stream before. So if anybody's watching this, can you actually put in the box you can hear me? I mean, anybody. I might actually just put it on my phone and see if I can see myself. Maybe I'll get feedback. If I get feedback, I'll know. I know that people can hear me. Oh, that's good. Somebody says they can hear me. Right, we'll crack on. At the moment, United are playing on next to me, so I'm keeping my one eye. And I never, ever, ever, ever do this. I've never done a live stream before, but I feel that absolutely. And I'm on holiday as well. And I was going to. I was good, good. I was going to actually not talk. I met Kim Silvio the day before it came out, and we went for. I showed her around Glasgow, and then we went for something to eat and drink, and we chatted, and we chatted about a lot of things. Lloyd actually never came up that much, to be honest with you. But however, we were talking about what's happening litigation wise. And now what's happened was Kim had put up something on the thread that obviously he follows. And this is what Kim written. She says, Lloyd, if you're reading this, let's end this. I am tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of your arrogant, stubborn behavior. Issue a copy of the documents you lodged with the court to the community. And if you have any valid points, the other members of the Magnificent Seven and I will do a live stream outlining the valid points, make the necessary corrections, and apologise. After that, you're welcome to continue with your court proceedings as you planned. If it is the case, as I suspect, that your case is full of manufactured truths and bullshit, then we can all know and forget about this farcical attempt to bulldoze the community. You're correct in your comment on YouTube. You know it's fodder. If it had any fact or basis, no one would be able to mock it. That was actually in response to something when Lloyd had done that live stream. Lloyd had done a video on a guy who was called Ahead of the Curve. And I was going to do another video to show that he was so not ahead of the curve to actually have this complete moron on. And so I put a comment on the Ahead of the Curve's video, and Lloyd responded to that, because I respond saying, I just put, like, we are waiting for you to reveal the facts in relation to all the things that allegedly Kim Silvio had said, which were incorrect. And he says, I apologize the fact the Croatian legal system's taken so long. So I brought this up to Kim. Kim obviously did that. This is Lloyd's response. So I'm going to read it now. If you haven't seen this, I've just literally read it, and I was so incensed that instead of watching United, I just thought I need to just get this right off my chest. So anyway, I'll just read it. So I'm reading it now from the screen. So and keeping my one eye on the game as well. One eye on here, one eye on the game. Anyway, it says, I note that you are issuing me with a challenge, having ignored the challenge I gave you to prove your credentials as a retired lawyer, i.e. the claim you made to engender the trust of not just myself, but other ex-JWBD activists and many abuse survivors. I predicted months ago when I made the challenge that you would ignore it, because whether you prove your credentials or admit to lying about them, you're left in a worse position than before. You dodged the issue entirely. As I predicted, your followers let you get away with doing so, as I also predicted, and now you have the gall to issue a challenge to me. And here we go. And this is a very, very sad story. And so for anybody watching this who has a remote ounce of sympathy for Lloyd, I think after reading this, you'll realise you've been completely conned by this con artist. It says, Kim, you've hurt, violated and damaged me beyond words. Even if I recover, oh my God, and ultimately outgrow ex-JW activism as you have foreseen, I will never, ever forget what you did to me. You have driven me to taking a prescribed 125 milligrams of antidepressant tablets every day, plus supplemental tablets, including diazepam, Valium. So basically, he's blaming Kim for him, maybe now having to take antidepressants. Says my brain chemistry and physiology is altered because of you. Again, he's blaming Kim. The stress you've inflicted through your gross invasion of the privacy of both myself and Dejana, not to mention your ongoing defamation crusade. It's not honestly a crusade, which you wage alongside the rest of your Magnificent Seven. No, this isn't an organized crusade. This is just a group of people talking about the things that you've done and the things you've admitted. It says, has been a major factor in my loss of appetite and body mass. Now, this would suggest that all of a sudden, the new Lloyd Evans is a thinner guy than we used to see. Now, I'm sorry. Literally, I'm sorry. Everything I've seen of Lloyd Evans recently, he still looks like exactly the same fat bastard he's always been. So I don't know what he's seeing, because he actually says, when I look in the mirror, I now see lines and grey hairs that I don't remember seeing before January 31st. I don't know. He must be looking in one of those funny mirrors where if you're a fat bloke, it makes you look quite thin, because he still looks exactly the same fat bastard that he did before January the 31st. So he's blaming Kim on the fact that he's now actually lost weight. He actually should be thanking Kim, if that's the case, that he's actually lost some weight, because he could have been doing with losing maybe about 5 stones. I don't see any extra grey hair. I don't see grey hairs. I don't see extra lines. I just see excuses. So he goes on, failed though it is, as hinted at by the obvious and increasing desperation and fanaticism you display on social media, your campaign, it's our campaign of hatred, insinuation, and disinformation very nearly bankrupted the company I used to produce content, which, apart from being a blow to XJW activism, I don't think so. I think, to be honest with you, your XJW activism is pointless and you're irrelevant. He says it would have left myself, Tibor, and Dejana unemployed, okay, and my children with no food on the table or money for clothing and toys. Oh, here we go. This is really playing the sympathy card. It's quite easy, Lloyd. You go and get a job. You forget about your XJW activism and go and get a job which actually does put food on the table and toys and clothing for your children. There are jobs out there. Try doing a decent day's work. He says, I am now back in debt because of the financial impact of your defamation. Oh, we've just scored another goal. And it's Marcus Rashford again. Well done. Says, I'm now back in debt because of the financial impact of your defamation, in which you falsely claim that I earn a 6-figure salary. Yesterday, now honestly, violins at the ready here. Yesterday, when I took Jessica for her haircut so that she can start her first day at school tomorrow with a fresh style, I did so using money that is the bank's, not mine, which would not have been the case if not for you. So basically, what he's trying to say here is that he's in debt now due to Kim Silvio and had to borrow money off the bank so his daughter can get a haircut. Now, this particular statement is available to all his Lloydites. So this is a brazen attempt to try and recover these dwindling patrons on Patreon to earn more money. Now, remember, boys and girls, this is the same guy who not so long ago, I'm not even about the thousands that we know we spent to go to Thailand. Not so long ago, this guy came to London from Croatia, spent a few days alone in London on his Todd, and tried to hook up with some women in a speed dating site. Now, if you are struggling to put food on the table, clothe your child, pay for haircuts, and buy toys, you don't go on a one-man journey to another country to spend money just so you can get your end away with a lassie you're trying to build a relationship with. This is just a terrible attempt for those who don't know what he did to actually start paying him more money in patrons. It's awful. So it says, you've deliberately and vindictively set out to hurt me. You and your followers have hounded and continue to hound me across the internet. We're not giving up, Lloyd. We really are not. You've manipulated dozens. She hasn't manipulated dozens, if not hundreds. No, she hasn't, to hate me and brave my destruction by exploiting this residual self-righteousness, entitlement, and judgmentalism that abounds in the Jehovah's Witness religion and lingers in many ex-witnesses long after they have left. Absolute bollocks, Lloyd. The only reason why we do the things that we do is because of what you have admitted to. Nothing to do with the fact of what Kim Silvio let cat out the bag. The cat's out the bag, and then you just literally you've said so many more things which have made you look even worse, even more things that you've said about you dating sex workers, just the whole thing. It's got nothing to do with Kim Silvio. It's if you've established a precedent whereby any future or existing ex-JW activist who grows their audience beyond a certain threshold can expect to be betrayed, bullied, violated, cancelled, and vilified. Now, that's not true, because we know that that's exactly what Lloyd Evans used to do with other people who he saw was competition for his channel. He's done exactly this thing. All that Kim Silvio said, look, for all the followers out there, this is what he's been doing with your money. And it flies in complete contradiction to a man who claimed to be the advocate against the cover-up of child sex abuse within the Jehovah's Witnesses. He says, you're a cruel, calculated, conniving person, and I hate myself for being such a poor judge of character as to ever trust you or allow you into my life, let alone let you meet my children. There's no possible way I can ever forgive you or erase what you've done from my memory. Actually, Lloyd, there's no way that we can ever forgive you or erase from our memory what you have done to the ex-witnesses community and all those people put their trust into you, who told you their stories of being victims of CSA, and you trampled all over them. You say, let's end this. I say this ends when I want it to end, and you need to understand that I am in this for the long haul. What you've done to me is so severe and far-reaching that I will commit however many months, years, or even decades. So he's hoping to live a long time then, despite obviously the shedding of the body weight and his obviously his mentally disabled brain, and the lack of food on the table and toys. Or even dictum I need to make sure and held accountable for the violations you've inflicted and goaded others to inflict on me. In a few days, I'll celebrate my 43rd birthday. If I'm still pursuing you for justice when I'm 53, 63, 73, or 83, wow, he's keen, so be it. This is not some game, nor am I remotely interested in finishing you or your fellow fanatics material for your live streams. Too late, mate. You've already done it. Or helping you correct the many untrue things you said about me. Fact-checking claims, accusations about someone's private life is something that you need to do before you make them publicly in a way that can cause person damages and loss, not after the fact. Given all that you've done to me and those I care about, I am under no obligation to help you reveal my illegal strategies or otherwise indulge you in any way whatsoever. You insult my intelligence by even asking. So basically, he's still saying that he's not going to reveal what exactly Kim Silvio and the others of the Magnificent Seven and the extra 12, including me, that apparently we come out with, which have defamed him because they are lies and incorrect. My lawyers will be given all the time in the world to file their case. Well, this we could be looking at 53 years old, 63, 70, and 83, with a case with CSAT court properly, no matter how infuriating so the legal process is. If they tire of the case for any reason, oh, here we go. This is interesting. If they tire, this is the first time I've read this bit. If they tire the case for any reason, I will hire new lawyers. I propose a mistrial here. So basically saying if his current lawyers eventually decide, you know what, this is just a fat, useless, work-shy bastard we've got no chance of winning this case at all, he still is going to go down the road of then appointing new lawyers to pursue this. This really smacks of desperation, of somebody who's going to probably bankrupt himself. Let's think about it. These lawyers cannot be cheap. How can he go on about it's Kim's fault that he's having to borrow from the bank to pay for his daughter to get a haircut, when he's hiring lawyers and also a personal, public relations person. He's hired apparently a public relations manager. He's hired lawyers. I would suggest sack the public relations person, get rid of the lawyers, stop your litigation, and actually be able to afford to pay for your daughter to get a haircut, toys and food on the table, by actually going out and getting a job. If I somehow lose the case, which I don't see happening at all, given how manifestly untrue and or unproven so many of your claims are against me, I will either appeal, or here we go, in the same court, or sue you in another jurisdiction. So basically, even if his first lawyers could say, look, Fatso, this isn't going to work. He hires another lawyer who says, right, Fatso, I'm going to take this all the way, but it's going to cost you X bucks. Okay, he takes it to court and even loses. He's still, at the end of the day, to process this campaign against Kim Silvio and the others of the Magnificent Seven. He even goes to the point of saying, I will either appeal in the same court or sue you in your other jurisdiction. I will fly to Australia and show up in court there if I have to. Hold on, this guy can't afford to get his daughter to get a haircut without borrowing it off the bank. How is he going to fly to Australia? Let me think about this one. No, I don't need to. There will be no JW Stopper, Gappy, no forgive and forget. Oh, that's funny, because I remember he did a video not so long ago saying he was willing to extend this love of forgiveness, to everybody, and bring them all back into the fold. You may be tired, but I am wide awake, and I have every motivation for all the reasons listed above to chase this to my dying breath. Oh my God, please make that more sooner than later. The same applies, sorry, Lloyd, the same applies to all those who fell for your lies. We haven't, and went too far. We haven't, in helping you spread them. No, we haven't. So you have my answer. I suggest you hire a good Croatian lawyer. I wouldn't bother. And hunker down. I wouldn't bother for a potentially long, drawn-out legal battle, given that you refused the offer of an out-of-court settlement. Yes, I was given that offer as well, and nobody in their right mind is going to pay Fatso €3,000 and then do a video saying, oh, we're very sorry, Lloyd. Little Lloyd, since you have made defaming and bullying me almost a full-time job, which actually hasn't. I think I've done more videos about it, but hey-ho, perhaps you can set up your own Patreon. Don't bother. I don't think she needs to. And find people willing to pledge money to your utterly negative and hateful cause. Well, I don't think she needs to. Rather, because she's put a few coins away by doing something called working, rather than simply paying lip service from the safety of anonymous social media and Jehovah's witnesses.com accounts. In the meantime, I will continue to expose Jehovah's Witnesses when we're not listening, and all abusive cult-like groups, apart from the Lloydites. There's another cult-like group, and do so in a way that is positive, respectful. We remember Bottlegate. We remember taking on Tony several times. Pillowgate. That's not respectful, and uplifting without seeking to shame. Yes, you did shame him. Cancel or expose anyone than those who are genuinely abusive and bringing misery to people's lives. Will that be Lloyd Evans? There will be no tit-for-tat exchanges, no more challenges. I didn't know you well enough before, but I know who you are now. I know your psychology. I know your tactics. I know what you stand for. I also know that you have not succeeded in what you've set out to do, despite coming very close. I think is wrong. And I think you now know you've failed. No, she hasn't. 2, if you've anything further to say to me, put it in writing to my lawyers. Which lawyers, Lloyd? They could be changing very shortly. And people have put things in writing to your lawyers, and guess what? They haven't responded. If you want to receive the slightest attention. Otherwise, I'll see you in court. What court? Where? We look forward to that one. Signed, Lloyd Evans. Right. So, what can I say about that? I literally, I can't put the link. I've done the live stream now. Anyway, you'll go and find it. Just go and find it. If you're not blocked by Lloyd Evans, go onto his Twitter, and it's there. Something like it's under. He's put it under Silvio September Tiny Site. You'll find it there, but you will find it either in on his Twitter account, or as I am, like me, you're blocked by his Twitter account, go under Knitter Lloyd Evans, you'll find it. Go and read it for yourself. It is truly an astonishing piece of work. It's just like Lloyd Evans himself. He is truly an astonishing piece of work. Oh my God. I don't have anything to say. I can see there's a lot of people been commenting here, but because I've been reading in the middle, I've not been able to read the comments. So more gaslighting, yes. Hi, hello. What have I missed? I've just read it. He could do with losing a few pounds, yes. Bullying and blaming, harassing and blaming himself, yes. Thanks. Still think he's going to live forever. I think Kim might have left the world before JLL reaches 80. Actually, I think Kim actually will be longer here. When he's releasing a statement, I've just read the statement. His own video stated the same facts claimed by Kim. End of story, correct. Lloyd is pathetic. He wants to be in fear of him. True. Watchtower tactics. Yes, again, he's learned from the best, or should I say, he's learned from the worst. Anyway, that's it. I don't want to say any more about this. I'll leave this video up there for anybody who wants to watch it. But yeah, I actually stopped watching Man United because I was that absolutely incensed when I started to read it. And right, like I said at the end, I hadn't read the end section. These are the rantings of a madman. He is honestly. These are the rantings of a madman. You could literally give that whole bit and give it to a psychiatrist or a psychologist or whatever, an expert who deals with people with mental issues, and say, what do you think about that? It is astonishing. He honestly, this is that letter is tantamount to his live stream meltdown. That letter, and it can't be taken away. I've actually, it's a PDF file. So in case it disappears, everybody download it now. It's a PDF. Download it now. It's a PDF file. Go and download it and watch it, and just reread that and think about what he's actually said. It is absolutely astonishing, unbelievable. And I've said before, I don't really want to talk about Workshire Evans, but to actually blame Kim Silvio for the fact that he's having to borrow money from the bank to cut his own child's hair, when we all know that he went to London to try and get his end away. It's just pathetic. Yes, once on the internet, always on the internet. The sad thing the thing about the internet is it has a very long memory. Anyway, I'm just going to catch the end of the United game. We're 3-1 up against Arsenal, just in case those are interested. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in to watch this. My first live stream, it might probably be my last live stream, actually. But anyway, it's my first live stream. I am in Malaga at the moment on my jollies. I was going to forget everything to do with Lloyd Evans and everything else, but I just read that and I just literally lost the plot. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Go and read that, and you tell me what you think about that. Bye bye.